In this video, we're going to be practicing factorizing trinomials where our a value or our leading coefficient is bigger than 1, this value over here. In the previous video, we looked at factorizing trinomials where our a value is equal to 1. So check that out if you haven't already. Now, I also just want to say there's different ways to factorize these kind of trinomials. So if you've never seen it before, then watch this, and I hope this method works for you because I find that this makes the most sense and that it's the easiest. But if you've learned it, if you start this and you see, oh, no, I've learned this in a different way and this is confusing you, then just stick to what you know. All right, what are we going to do? The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to take the a value and we're going to multiply it with the c value. So we're going to say the a value times the c value. And in this case, that will be 2 times 3, which will give us 6. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take that 6 and we are going to factorize it, break it up into its factors. So 6 is equal to 6 times 1. And 6 is also equal to 3 times 2, and that's it. Those are the only factor pairs. Now, what are we going to do with those factor pairs? We want to add or subtract those factor pairs that it can get us back to our middle term of -5. So it needs to get us back to our middle term of -5 when we add and subtract those. But be careful, when we multiply them, they must still get us back to positive 6. So let's explore and see what works. So if I say 6, -6, how will I get back to -5? Well, I will have to plus 1, right? Because that will get me back to -5. But if I say -6 times positive 1, that is not going to get us back to a positive 6. It's going to get us back to a -6. So that factor pair is not going to work. Let's look at the second one. Well, how do we get to -5 using 3 and 2? If it's -3 and we subtract 2 more, then that will get us back to -5. But if we multiply them, -3 times -2, that gets us back to a positive 6 that we want. So this factor pair, I'm lying, that's not the one. This is the factor pair that is going to work, a -3 times a -2, because that gets us back to our -5. So figuring out the signs is the only thing that you need to get used to with this. Now, what do we do? The third thing that we need to do, let me create some space over there. The third thing that we need to do is we need to go and rewrite B, Right, B, in this case, -5, using the factors that we found in the second step. So bear with me. We've got 2y squared and we've got plus 3. So we are going to rewrite the -5y with the factors that we just found, the correct factors that we found, which was -2 and -3. So I'm replacing the -5y with -3y and take 2 more y's away. We're not changing to the sum, we're literally replacing that. Now we're going to do some grouping. Make sure that you watch the grouping videos. So we group those two together, then we group the second two together, and that sign is supposed to change. So if you don't know why it did, make sure that you watch the grouping videos. In the first bracket, we can take out a y. Then we're left with 2y minus 3. There isn't a common factor for this one over here, but now these brackets are the same. So we take out that common bracket, and left in the first term is a y, and left in the second term is not nothing. Remember that imaginary coefficient over there, and there we factorize that. And if we're going to use FOIL to simplify, to multiply it out, you'll see that it gets us back to the trinomial where we started. Let's do another example and practice this. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to multiply a times c. In this case, it will be 6 times 6, which is 36. 6 times 6 is equal to 36. Then we're going to use that 36. And in the second step, we are going to write down the factor pairs of 36. Well, that can be, we know, 6 times 6. It can also be, 9 times 4? 3 times 12. Am I missing something? 2 times 18. Obviously, 36 and 1. I don't think I'm missing anything. All right, now what do we need to do with that? We need to add and subtract those factor pairs to see how is it going to get us back to our middle term, to our b value of plus 13. That's not going to work. What about 9 and 4? Surely if we have plus 9 and we add 4 more, that will get us back, that will get us to positive 13, yes. And if we multiply those two, it gets us to positive 36. So those factors actually work. I do feel the need to just quickly show you for an example the ones that don't work, that you can also just get the feel for that. So how can we use 3 and 12 to get to 13? That's never going to work. 2 and 18, it's not going to work. No matter how we add or subtract them, it's never going to get us to 13. And that's also definitely not going to work. It's too big. So definitely those are our options. What are we supposed to do in the third step? Well, this is when we are going to rewrite our b, which is the plus 13, as the factors that we found that works in the second step. So let's go ahead and do that. We just leave that for now. And we rewrite the middle term, the plus 13, as those factors that we identified. So it must be plus 9x and plus 4x. We didn't change to the sum. 9 plus 4 is still 13. We're going to group them. 6x squared plus 9x. And then plus 4x plus 6. Let's take out common factors. There we can take out a 3 and an x. Then we are left with 2x plus 3. Over there we can take out a 2. Whoops. We can take out a 2 and then we're left with 2x plus 3. And there are our common brackets. We take those out. And left in the first term is 3x, and left in the second term is 2, and there it is fully factorized. And you'll see, if you FOIL that out, if you multiply it out, it's going to get us right back to where we started. Let's practice this together one more time. If we look at 7, we can see that it is a trinomial where our leading coefficient, our a value, is bigger than 1. And by the way, it's always a good idea to go check and see if there is a highest common factor that we can take out. There isn't a common factor between 6 and 23 and 18. So let's go and factorize this trinomial where our a value is bigger than 1. What's our first step? We need to say a times c. In this case, it will be that. Oh, that's a big one. Okay, well, 6 times 18. What is 6 times 9? 6 times 9 is equal to 54, and then we just have to double that. So that will give us 6 times negative 18, by the way, is equal to negative 108. So be mindful of the sign there. Negative 108. Okay, second step. What do we need to do? We need to take this negative 108 and we need to write down its factors. So how will we get back to negative 108? Well, that will be 54. I'm not going to worry about the signs just now. Forgive me. So I'm actually not going to put an equal over there. So if we write 108 as its factors, it will be 54 times 2 and 27 times 4. What else is there? 36 times 3, obviously 108 times 1. Is there something that we're missing? I hope not. Let's see how far we get with those. Now, what do we need to do again? We need to add or subtract those factor pairs to get back to our middle term of negative 23. But remember, if we multiply them, it needs to get us back to the negative 108. So if we plus or minus them, it needs to get us back to that b value. But if we multiply them, it needs to get us back to that negative 108. So, 54 and 2, is that ever going to get us back to 23 if we add or subtract that? No, 54 plus 2 minus 2, no, it's way too big. Let's look at 27 and 4. Well, if it is a negative 27 and we add 4 to it, that is going to give us negative 23. So it works so far. And if we multiply them, is it going to get us back to negative 108? Yes, it is, because negative 27 times positive 4 gets us back to that. So we found a factor pair that works. So now we keep that like that for now. We keep that like that for now. We are going to rewrite that using the factors that we just found that works in step 2. So there we are going to rewrite our B, our second term, using the factors that we found over there. If we do that, we're going to get that it's negative 27x, and we add 4x. We're not changing to the sum, we're just rewriting it. Now let's put them into those groups. And let's take out common factors. What can we take out of here? Is it 3? 3x, which is 2x minus 9. Plus, what can we take out over here? Is it just 2? 2, and that will give us 2x minus 9. And there are our brackets. That's the same. So we take out that common bracket, and left in the first term is 3x. Left in the second term is plus 2. And there it is fully factorized. If we FOIL that out, you will see that we will get back to where we started. Let's just actually do that quickly. So if we FOIL that out, we get 6x squared plus 4x minus 27x minus 18. And then if we put that together, our like terms, it gets us back where we wanted. So then we know we factorized it correctly. I think it's a good idea to try some of these on your own now that it's fresh in your memory. In the next video, I'll quickly show you if you want to use your calculator to factorize trinomials.